three. Johnny Walker matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls on. And Arizona State wins it. Edwards pulls off and buries the puck. Daniels takes the shot for Kirby.
Welcome into Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratenuto at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as the Twitter. You can see the show live there every day, 12 to 1, same bat time, same bat channel. My IG, michael.caratenuto.5, yes, on Instagram. And the YouTube channel, it's live on my YouTube, but you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pitchfork Lunchers. I know I tell you every day, spread the word. You miss shows, you miss interviews, you miss an awesome conversation interview with Megan Bartlett yesterday, the head coach of the Son of a Women's softball team. Hello. There was that. So again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is all there. If you can check it out live on YouTube, that's great. Hit me up, leave comments, all that good stuff. But yes, don't be bashful, and subscribe to the YouTube channel because it's at, okay, so go to YouTube and search it. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube. Subscribe, y'all. And again, you can get caught up. Talk to Coach Bartlett yesterday. Talk to Coach Regal on Tuesday, or on Monday. Pardon me. Yesterday was Wednesday. We talked to Coach Regal on Monday. And again, you've missed a ton of interviews like that from coaches, players, and, at the NCAA tournament getting started, both on, the men's, I guess, first round, as opposed to the opening round. The men's first round is today. Obviously, Colorado, Pac-12 wise, beat Boise State in the opening round, as they call it, which doesn't sound too much different from first round. So yes, that is getting going. I know Colorado won. I'll mention the brackets in a teeny bit. But anyway, go to the YouTube, and it is like I said, at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe. And you can check again all the shows you've missed. You have a lot to binge, but you can binge in I guess in different bunches and stuff like that. So baseball yesterday, man, that was a tough one against Utah Valley, as the Devils end up losing 7-5. Got no hit through 6 1/3. I want to say it was yeah, it was tough. it was tough to say the least. And we'll hear from Willie Bloomquist a little bit later in the show. We'll hear a little bit from Tuesday night and from Tuesday night and last night. So but yes, that is very, very tough. For baseball to do that, because again, they won 5-4 the other night. They had 5 runs on 4 hits on Tuesday night, right? On a Wednesday afternoon, yesterday afternoon, they had 5 runs on 4 hits. But ended up losing 7-5. So they fall back under 500. They are now 2 games under 500 at home. They're 7-9 at home, but they're 10-11 overall. 3-3 in conference play, and with a chance to expand on that as they head up to the Palouse this weekend to take on Washington State. But I mean, Utah Valley yesterday, yeah, I mean, it was slim pickings, kids. Because yeah, I want to say their first hit did not come until the 6th inning. But when we look at the stats from yesterday, yeah, I mean, ASU got a walk and a hit by a pitch in the first inning. That was ended by a double play. Then in the second inning, a strikeout and 2 groundouts. In the third inning, they got a runner on with a walk. But a ground out and a fly out. And then in the 4th inning, 2 flyouts and a strikeout. In the 5th inning, a strikeout and 2 flyouts. And then in the 6th inning, 3 groundouts. In the 7th inning, that's when the first hit came. So they went actually so in the 7th inning, there was a ground out and then a double. And then a single and a walk, then another walk, which is an RBI, and then a single, 2 RBIs, and then a ground out to second, which was an RBI, and then so the 4 runs came in the 7th. But yeah, they went 6 1/3. yeah, 6 1/3 before they got a hit. And yeah, I mean, you'll hear from Coach Bloomquist. And again, seeing the team, okay, in the fall, but then into obviously spring semester starting practices, like he said something yesterday, like, oh, maybe I guess then I recruited the wrong guys, but with what they can do and how they can hit, and when you see it, but it just comes, a readiness to play, a mental clearness. But yeah, I mean, 6 1/3, and then there was one out before they got the 4 runs in the seventh, and then in the eighth they got a walk, ground out a walk, and then 2 strikeouts, and then in the ninth, Isaiah Jackson crushed his opening at bat, his home run to center field, and made it 7-5, and then a fly out and 2 strikeouts, and that's the game. But that's just a tough loss. Utah Valley under 500. Yeah, they had they got that pitcher, that performance from Hunter Omlid out of the bullpen on Tuesday. Like I said, 5 1/3, 11 Ks, only 1 walk, and that part was awesome. But the offense just, again, unfortunately, not clicking there, and that's the tough part for, Willie Bloomquist. Like, it's and you'll hear what he has to say about how they're set up, um and that. But you look at yesterday, and your leadoff hitter 0 for 4, um, Harris Williams, and then Mendoza 0 for 3 with a walk, Campos 0 for 2 with, of course, another walk, Tobias 1 for 4, um, Brandon Compton 1 for 4, Isaiah Jackson 1 for 3, had the home run. Also, he had a walk as well. Steve Londina 0 for 3 with a walk. Trey Newman 0 for 2. Kean Vu in a pinch hitting role was 1 for 1. Mario Demira was 0 for 1. Jax Ryan was 0 for 1, but also had a walk. Nick McLean was 0 for 1. And then Josiah Cromwick, who substituted in defensively, but he was 0 for 1. So 4 hits in 30 at bats, and look, you don't have to be a diehard baseball fan to know that's not going to get it done, right? And defensively, this team had 2 crazy errors yesterday on the mound. Pickoff plays. One went down the first baseline, and then one, it seemed like the ball slipped out of his hand. Like he was going forward and was trying to grab it back, or it slipped, but it was a pickoff play to second base, and it floated over second baseman and went into center field, just on a routine. Because again, you can't fake; you have to throw to second, and you get 2 of those, which as Coach Bloomquist said, unacceptable. And that goes into center field, and get 2, and you extend, innings for Utah Valley. And you look at it, Utah Valley in the first inning, they they did get a hit. And Wyatt Halverson started the game. Yeah, I mean, he threw 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 1 was earned, 4 Ks to 1 walk. You like that ratio? Through 50 total pitches. But when you look at, the first inning, yeah, they get the single, but it was a ground out to start the game to short, and then 2 strikeouts after the single. Good start for Halverson. Then second inning, Nate Bach comes up and crushes a home run, but then Halverson rebounded nicely after that. He got a fly out to right field and then struck out the last 2 batters in the second. Then you go to third, you get a fly out to left right away. Then you get a single. Then you get a then you get a yeah, you get a fly out to left, and then you get a single. Um, and then you get a fly out to center, um, which ends up being a sacrifice fly. Um, because yeah, that was one of the plays where he went to steal second. There was the overthrow. Um, and then it went down the line, and then Daniel Dickinson, the leadoff hitter, is able to go over to third, and then the fly out to center for the second out brings him home, and then you get a fly out to left. So okay, you're down 2-0, not feeling bad. Then you go to the fourth inning, you get a single, then you get a walk, then you get a pop up to first, then you get a ground out to third, which you get an out, but ends up being an RBI. So now that makes it 3-0. And then you get a strikeout. Okay. So, not obviously not too, um, so in the fourth, and you make it 3-0. Then you go to their fifth and you get a single, but then you get fly out to right, and then you walk somebody, then you get a strikeout, then you get another walk, then you get a strikeout. So a little bit of a jam there, and that's when. Oh, by the way, that's when um Ryan Schieffer was in the game. So Schieffer came in the game and he pitched the fifth and the sixth for ASU. And so, like I said, the fifth, bases loaded, the sixth, first batter got a single, and then it was 2 strikeouts and a pop out. So again, you leave a runner on base, and Schieffer did a good job there. Then you go to the seventh, and oh no, well, he pitched the fourth and the fifth. Teating came in and pitched the sixth and the seventh. Yeah, so the so the fourth, the 1 run, that's one of the overthrows too to second base. But so the fourth and the fifth, the sixth, like I said, Matt Teating came in and got out of the sixth, and then in the seventh, um, then in the seventh, their leadoff hitter for Utah Valley reached on an error by Short, but then he had a ground out to second. Fielder's choice, a walk, a single, which drove in 2 more runs and made it 5-0 at the time. And then you get a fly out to ninth. And then in the eighth, you walk a guy, you get a single, you get a ground out to third. Then you get a strikeout, a hit by pitch, and a K looking, and they get no runs, but they strand runners. So that was the eighth. And then in the ninth, though, you You lead off with you get 2 home runs in the ninth. So it's 5-4 as we go in to the ninth. And Utah Valley's leading, but then you get a home run from Kalen Halverson, and then you get a strikeout, and then you get a home run from Garrett Broussard, and then a strikeout, a hit by pitch, a walk, and a flyout. But again, damage is done. 2 more in the ninth, and that's the frustrating part for Willie Bloomquist is, again, this offense, yes, they can do it, and he's seen it. And, it's not just him just saying it. I mean, he's around him. The bats in this lineup, and I mean, Ryan Campos, again, getting walked at a very high clip. So, again, you'll take free bases, but he is passing the bat, but you have to make teams pay for that. I mean, 10 walks on Tuesday night. Yes, they won 5-4, but I mean, that's a game where you get 10 walks. You should, again, most would feel that in the ideal situation, you're going to win by, you should have, 7, 8, 9 runs. If you get 10 walks, you get 10 free bases in a night. I mean, that is a ton. That is a ton. So again, the frustration, the frustration there, but yeah, I mean, now they have Washington State coming up, so that's going to be interesting. But we'll hear from Coach Bloomquist in a little bit. And some other news and notes. Water polo, number 9 water polo is headed to California to take on San Jose State first, and then Stanford this weekend. So they have 2 conference matchups. It's the MPSF, just so you know. So they had last weekend off, which is well earned, and Luca Pedoveri, like I said, 102 goals in 23 games. That is sick. That is just phenomenal and awesome and epic, and that's why she is up for National Player of the Year, because again, you can play defense. You can know she's going to shoot it. They're going to work the ball over to her, but nonetheless, delivering, putting it in the back of the net. So water polo headed to California this weekend. Also, women's golf sweeps the Dr. Donis Thompson Invitational. They won the team championship, and Ashley Minnie earns her first collegiate individual title, which is huge. We'll get into that. When you look at the team standings, Arizona State first, North Carolina and Washington tied for second. And ASU won by 25 shots over North Carolina and Washington. That is a dominant tournament. And then you had Sacramento State and Fresno State tied for fourth. And then Rutgers was sixth, New Mexico seventh, Texas State 8th, San Francisco 9th, Mercer 10th, Boise State 11th. Tied for 12th was Morehead State and Tulane. And then 14th was Long Beach State, and 15th was Hawaii, which is where this tournament was at. So, yeah, that's just awesome, to say the least. What women's golf able to do there, bring a title, bring another match win home. And yeah, by 25 shots. So that is awesome. And to Ashley Minnie, congrats to her. Softball heads, like we talked with Coach Bartlett yesterday, softball is heading to Eugene this weekend to take on Oregon State. And day one of the NCAA Swimming Championships, Sun Devil women placed 12th in the 800 free relay in Athens, Georgia. Leva Maluka, Lindsay Looney, Aaron Milligan, and Charlie Brown teamed up to go 6:57.06, and which was good for a school record. So that's good. I mean, you want to see that, but placed 12th, and so that is day one of the NCAA championships for the women. And for the Gym Devils, by the way, the number 21 Sun Devil gymnastics team will be in the first session of the 2024 Pac-12 championships this Saturday at 12 p.m. And they at the Maverick Center in West Valley City, Utah, which will also include number 20 Stanford, number 22 Arizona, and Washington. So yes, go get them, Gym Devils. I know Utah, obviously tough. Stanford has a pretty good team as well. Utah's been very, very solid, but they're number 21 and Stanford's number 20. So we got 20, 21, and 22. Stanford at 20, ASU at 21, and then that team down south at 22, and, well, Washington not ranked. So we will see. But the Gym Devils have that this Saturday. Women's tennis ends March road trip at Oregon. The number 39 Sun Devil women's tennis team, 8-8 overall, 0-4 in the pack, looking for that illustrious first Pac-12 win. Will be on the road to close out the month as they'll travel to Eugene to play number 61 Oregon, who's 9-5, 0-2 in the Pac-12, on March 22nd, which is Friday, which is tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow, 12 p.m. So, yeah. So looking forward to that, other news and notes. But I am going to take a quick break, and when I get back, we will hear from Coach Bloomquist again about the struggles of the offense, the frustration. The pitching's looking good, guys. The pitching, I mean, yeah, you're going to have, moments. Guys are going to, obviously they're playing college, they're playing Division I baseball, whether it's Power 5 or not, they're playing Division I baseball. So they're there to get hits too. They're going to make plays. But that being said, again, the frustration and just knowing what's in there, what he sees, but it's just needing to come out. So, and they did have a players only meeting, so I'll touch on that a little bit, put that out there. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll hear from Coach Bloomquist and talk a little more baseball, and look forward to these teams in championships this weekend. Also wrestling. Don't want to forget about that. So more coming up here on Pitchfork Lunch. And we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Carragher at Diablo00 on X. You know it, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. Yes, my always huge shout out to Prince when he was the artist, when he was the symbol, the artist formerly known as. But nonetheless, we roll on here. And yeah, baseball lost 7-5 yesterday. They split with Utah Valley. And again, these are two games with how, again, Utah Valley came in well under 500, struggling. You win, you battle back, you win 5-4. You win 5-4 in the opening game. And then you score 5 runs again, and with opportunity to score more. But the first, when you're not getting your first hit till the 7th inning, you go 6 1/3 without a hit. That obviously is tough and is frustrating. And you hear, in listening to Willie Bloomquist talk, obviously he gets it, he understands it, and yeah, it's he talked about earlier in the season. Real quick before we hear from him from yesterday, earlier in the season, how this team's going to have to grind. And, offensively, I mean, to start the season, they were getting those timely hits. Yeah, I mean, okay, they played at home, but still, even, when they went on the road, they were still getting hits. And it was towards the end of Texas and then coming back here where the offense just, not, passing the baton, pass the stick, pass the bat, however you want to say it, that's what they're trying to do. And for Willie Bloomquist, I mean, you can understand the frustration because, again, the passion's there in his voice, and the know-how is there. The want, obviously, for him to want his team, to will his team to do it, but just to, have that mental, the mental toughness. And yeah, everybody's going to go through slumps, and that part he understands. You talk about it, but the approach, putting the team in the right spot, obviously looking at, film and, with hitters, and, not easier said than done. And he knows it too. It's not that he's denying that, you can't sit up there and press. Like if you're constantly pressing and, you're overthinking too much about, what's coming. Oh, he threw this pitch. So now wait, he's going to go there. And then, oh wait, he should probably go here. And it's just, and it's one of the toughest things to do, obviously, as a competitor and athlete. Like, you get that. And as a hitter too, like, if it's not going your way, that's the frustrating part. So that in and of itself is tough. But just again, there's a lot. I shouldn't say a little. There is a lot of fire from Willie Bloomquist, and it's you can hear it, and it's one of those things where you would think and feel that, the players, yes, get the message, but again, that's the challenge. That's what he's facing, and the frustration of it, and, feeling that if guys are put in the right spot, yes, the pitcher's trying to make a pitch too and a play and get you to swing at something. Everybody understands that, but it's not a prepared part from Willie Bloomquist. But anyway, without further ado, let's hear from Willie Bloomquist after yesterday's tough 7-5 loss to Utah Valley.
Is to just get hits, 4 hits last night, 4 hits today after being no hit for 6 1/3.
I'm quite frankly at a loss. We've given me, it comes down to coaching. I take the responsibility for it. But at the end of the day, we feel like we're giving these guys the information they need. We just aren't getting it done. And that's, it's discouraging from a coaching staff. I think those guys are discouraged too. And I don't know if their guys are trying too hard or what's going on. I wish I had a I wish I had an answer, because right now it's pretty dismal at best. You know, I'll jump on the grenade and say it's me. I mean, if I knew how to fix it, I would. But we're talking about it. We're trying to give these guys a simple, clear, clean-cut approach that takes the thought process out of it. A lot of times when you're scuffling, you're thinking too much. You know, our offensive approach is not real complex. And if you look back at the tapes and the film, it's like, okay, the pitches that are hit are there. We just aren't putting the fat part of the bat on the ball consistently. And we're capable of so much more than this, and it's just not happening. So for me, I don't know. I'm really at a loss. We've watched film, watched video, and replay, and analyzed. You know, to the point where my eyes are bleeding practically, trying to figure out what's going on with guys swinging the bat right now, and it's just not. Again, that's our job, but the other job, trying to get these guys to just think clearly and simple and aggressive. It just ain't happening.
With the series in Tucson, there are a lot of hits, obviously, in some of those games. Maybe some lack of hitting with runners in scoring position, but like with this kind of drop off against Utah Valley, is there anything really that you can put a reason for it, or is it more like you've talked about how, you know, things with baseball, there are lapses naturally as part of the game? Is this one of those things?
I mean, you look at velo. Did those guys have velo? No. To blow us away? Did they have nasty breaking stuff to keep us off? No. I mean, we've faced arms every bit of that, you know, so far this year, and we've done very well against those type of arms. But for me, it's a lot of focus, I think, and ready to play mentally. I think has a lot to do with it. Again, which I probably preach more than I need to on being ready to play, and maybe they've tuned me out. I don't know, but my style of play, or my era of, you were ready to play, or somebody held you accountable for that. And you know, right now, again, I'm preaching, asking these guys to hold each other accountable more and wake each other up a little bit. It can't always come from us, but you know, at the end of the day, I guess when all's said and done, you point the finger at myself, or I point the finger at myself. Like, I got to somehow figure out a better way to get these guys locked in and ready to play better than they are, because we just got outplayed 2 games in a row, quite frankly, by Utah Valley. So if that's where we're at, and that's what these guys are satisfied with, then it's going to be a long rest of the year. But I believe we're better than that. And again, to me, it's the responsibility falls on my shoulders. So I got to get them better.
And then the consistency, I know, and stability of a lineup. I know you talk about maybe moving guys down, but I mean, is it something to where, I mean, you could literally shake the whole offensive lineup up and just have guys hitting in different spots? I mean, I know it goes against stability and consistency, but is that a thought?
We have. You know, when's the last time we run the same lineup out there 2 days in a row? I mean, we're trying guys in different spots. You know, put McLean 2, 5, putting Campy 2, 3, putting Toby 6. You know, at some point in time, you just can't take everybody out of the lineup. We don't have anybody left. So, you know, we're trying. You know, and then it's one day one guy will roll out 5 hits, and then the next day it's a little sluggish. And so if we can just kind of get back to the consistency of things. You know, and then maybe some of these guys that haven't gotten a ton of playing time, you know, they're chomping at the bit to get ready to play too. And we're trying to mix those guys in too, and that just doesn't seem to be working a whole lot either. So, you know, bottom line, it sounds like there's cloudy days right now, but I believe in our offense. I believe that these guys can swing it better than they are. I've said it before, hitting is contagious. It just takes somebody to light the fire and get this thing rolling with a big hit and a big moment, and hopefully the floodgates will go, because I've seen what this offense is capable of doing, and right now we're nowhere near what we're capable of doing, but until the fire gets lit, it's frustrating to watch.
We've already seen this offense being successful at times, especially early in the year. What about the team that you see then that might not be there right now that was allowing them to perform so well in those first couple weeks?
I think they just weren't missing pitches early in the year. I mean, they were getting pitches and they were on time and squaring it up, and we had merry-go-rounds going. And right now we're late, and I don't know if that's just these guys are in there swinging more than they need to be swinging, and the bat speed's gone or whatever. I'm not sure. I can't monitor these guys 24/7, but I do know that we're not over swinging them during batting practice. I feel like we're giving them the right amount of swings, but the bat speed doesn't seem to be there, and the crispness of contact doesn't seem to be there. We are getting good pitches to hit, and we're fouling back. We're not taking anything away. We hit some balls hard too, but right at guys. But early in the season, those balls were flying out of the ballpark left and right, and now Utah Valley's balls are flying out of the ballpark, but ours are making it to the outfielders is all. So I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss right now, to be honest. And I'll go back and watch this film later on today and try to come up with something, but I don't feel like we should be shut down the way we're being shut down right now.
What is kind of the team morale and communication amongst players right now as far as where they're currently at?
It better not be good. I mean, because if this is what they're accepting, then we're in trouble. So I didn't talk to them much after the game. I just said, that's essentially, where's your pride? You guys figure it out. I'm tired of preaching. I've been preaching a lot and trying to motivate these guys, get them going. But at some point in time, you gotta look in the mirror, and either you have it or you don't. And if we don't, then I guess I recruited the wrong guys. But that being said, I don't feel that way about these guys. I do believe that's in there. These are great kids. They have the desire to be good, and right now I just think they're in a rut. But they got to get out of it soon, because this is not our brand of baseball right now.
We're just looking at the pitching performance today. It seems like Schaefer continues to give you some really strong innings.
It was he had a few walks there, but all in all, he made big pitches when he had to, which was good. He continues to do what we ask him to do. So we didn't want to stretch him out too much more, just because we got to have those arms available this weekend too. And we gave him 2, and I think that was about enough for him. Ben Jacobs got out of that first inning, and then ran into a little roadblock there in the second. I didn't want to stretch him out too long, just again, for reasons that we got to have arms for this weekend, and the pitching wasn't necessarily the issue. We needed to score runs. I'm not going to run our best arms out there for 3, 4, 5 innings just to watch our offense sputter. So we were able to get enough from those guys to where we should have scored enough, I think.
With the Sunday roll kind of up in the air, the guys who you've seen have been really good out of the bullpen, having a performance like he did last night, Jacobs, Schaefer. At what point do you open up options for maybe stretching out a reliever to get someone in that starting role, or are you not really at that point with that?
We have different options, I think, but it's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You take your best arms out of the bullpen and start them, then who do you got in the bullpen? And we all see what a punch in the stomach that is when you lose a game late, when you don't have your good arms late to finish games. But right now it's a challenge for me and Sammy to try to put guys in the right situations where we can give enough length but not too much, and keep guys available for the following day. And so right now we haven't even looked at Sunday. We're licking our wounds from today and scratching our head going, what in the world? But we'll look at Friday and see who we got following Bernsey, and seeing what we can get out of Bernsey and how we finish that game, and then worry about Saturday, and Sunday.
Back in your playing days at ASU, after a loss, what would be kind of the player conversations and to try and motivate each other to kind of bounce back and get back in rhythm?
I think there was a lot of discussion, but there was a fear factor too, that we had, that if you didn't represent the program properly or didn't play hard or didn't bounce back, there was someone there to fight you, and it's a different era.
Do you recall a stretch like this? Obviously, you have a certain feel for where the players are at mentally, emotionally. When you were a player, do you ever remember a time when you and your guys were at a point like this?
I played a long time. Yeah, I've been through stretches like this before, to where it's dismal and seems like every day's cloudy and overcast and getting ready to rain, right? And like I said, it just takes one guy to step up and get the big hit in the big situation, and the floodgates will open. And that's what I think guys are waiting for, that guy somebody to step up. Like I said, some days individual performances are great, some days, but are we putting it together as a team performance? No, we haven't done that yet this year, in my opinion. So at some point that's got to come if we're going to be the team we want. And the pieces are all there. At some point in time throughout the year, like I said, there's been enough very good individual performances that we have enough guys that are capable of making this thing work. It's just gotta flow together better as a team, and guys stepping up at the right team moment to get things done.
Today you got 3 errors on the field, 2 coming for pickoff moves. Would you say that had any effect to the offensive side of the ball today, maybe kind of changing the momentum?
It shouldn't. That's a different side of the ball. They put a chalk line there for fair and foul, and to forget about defense when you come to offense, and forget about offense when you go to defense. So, that's baseball 101. Bring your offense to defense and vice versa. But the miscues, those are inexcusable. We can't execute a pickoff move to first or to second and drop a pop up and drop a routine ball from short. Like, you don't deserve to win. Those are just a lack of focus, in my opinion.
You talked about last midweek, lost in Mexico, trying to switch up routines, so guys are more ready for these kinds of games. Is there any sort of anything new insight on that?
I would say this: we've done everything we can to accommodate them. They need to grow up at some point in time. Either you got it or you don't. Either you're ready to play on Tuesday and Wednesday or you're not. I can't do any more than we're doing. We are giving them every possible thing we can to accommodate their inability to focus and play. And maybe I'm enabling too much, but at some point in time, they got to grow up and learn how to play. Like, if these guys want to play at the next level of pro ball, you don't get days off in pro ball. It is what it is. And you got to show up play every day. These guys are getting 3-4 days off a week where they're not playing games. So don't give me the mentally fatigued thing. Just learn to show up and get ready to play. Again, so that's, I guess, where I get frustrated at times, where it's like, I shouldn't have to motivate every single day. At some point in time, you got to look in the mirror and get ready to play. And these guys are good kids that care, but it's like, man, come ready to play, button your chin strap and be ready to go punch somebody in the mouth. Not literally, but from a competition standpoint, be ready to go. And we can't sit and wait till 6.5 innings before we decide to wake up offensively. That's got to be from pitch 1. So for me, that's I guess where I'm still trying to learn how to poke and prod and get these guys going. Clearly, I haven't done a good enough job yet.
The players only meeting post game, has that been something that has increased in recent weeks? Obviously, you had talked to us about wanting more of that player-to-player accountability, like in terms of the volume of having the players in those contexts to talk to each other. How often does that happen?
I don't know. I mean, the players, if they're doing it, good for them. It's about time. So I did not speak with them long. I figured sometimes things unsaid are better than the things I was about to say. So I just kept it very brief, and if they wanted to have a meeting themselves, so be it. Good for them.
And there you hear it. Willie Bloomquist. Again, the frustration in preparing, and he's not saying his team are weak, and he's not the curmudgeon on the lawn. I know Pitchfork Lunchers, you don't think like those people, from that school down south. So I'm not saying that. He's not saying that, that every generation behind him softer, this and that. But it is a look in the mirror moment. Like, you can be prepared. And again, people say, well, they used to have a presser. There's no such thing as over-prepared. There's only underprepared. But that's the point. That's where he's saying, look in the mirror. The coaches are doing their job. He's constantly evaluating himself, his coaching staff. The coaches are evaluating what they're doing. And yeah, when you're in a rut like this, like you said, he's played, through it, but it's got to come from that. And as you saw the last question there, like, if it is a, players only meeting that they had, then he's like, good for them, because less is more. And he's like, yeah, sometimes if they're not, listening, the old adage, in one ear out the other, right? That's the tough part. That's what he's facing. But yeah, I mean, look, as a player, as a competitor, you got to look yourself in the eye, and going back to the simplistics, you always hear coaches, when you're first learning, first playing baseball, see ball, hit ball. Everybody that's ever played baseball, softball, whatever, see ball, hit ball. Like, don't overthink, pick the ball up, see the ball, hit the ball. Yes. And as you get older and pitches become different, understanding timing and all that. Yes. But get back to just the relaxed simplicity, see ball, hit ball, and go from there. You're, like you said, they're not over swinging them. You heard them right there. So don't need to repeat everything you said, but that in and of itself is very cool. And yes, yesterday was the first day of the women's swimming and diving national championships. And like I told you, the women got 12th in the 800 free. But yeah, you look at Eva Maluka, like I said, Lindsay Looney, Aaron Mulligan, and Charlie Brown. They were the 12th team in the 800. Finished 12th. They were 6:57.06 again, and their best time previous to that was 6:58.41. So shaving over a second off your time, never a bad thing. But yes, that is they are in Athens, Georgia for that. On the men's side, I want to say they are also there right now. Or they're heading there, one of the two. But the back-to-back Pac-12 champs. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. They were 9-0-1 this year, 4-0-1 in conference, and then 3-0-1 away. So yeah, loving that. Oh, well, the diving championships for the men, yes, those are right now. And then next week for the women, or for the men, the 27th, they're in Indianapolis, but the men are in Athens. So the men's and women's diving is all in Athens, the diving championships. And then next week, the men are in Indianapolis a week from yesterday. They will start on the 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th, the men's swimming championship. So Wednesday through Saturday is what we have there. So that in and of itself, my friends, is awesome. Looking forward to that, seeing what they can do. Obviously, the relay teams, and then Leon Marchand, what he has done has been beyond phenomenal. And he will be in his home country of France this year for the Paris Olympics. So that is awesome, representing obviously France, but a Sun Devil, which, you know, under the tutelage of Coach Bowman, who has done a phenomenal job with that. So yes, that is the men's, like I said, diving right now, but next week is swimming, all the swimming in Indianapolis. So that will be, again, we'll definitely have more on that as they go from there. So wrestling, by the way, I wanted to give an update on that, on the other Pac-12 champs. I mean, men's swimming, men's wrestling, more hardware again in the athletic halls, and we love that. Yeah, they start today in Kansas City. So just wanted to remind you of that before we get out of here. So yeah, the men's wrestling, who had 5 individual titles, 6 guys ready for the NCAA championships, which are in Kansas City. And that starts today. So I will have some results for you, obviously, tomorrow, some football stuff tomorrow too, as we get ready for spring ball. So we will all see how that goes, and see possibly if maybe we have a guest on. We shall see. But that being said, yeah, so I will see you tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for joining. Always appreciate it. Appreciate the love. And again, yesterday, if you missed any interviews, any sound, everything from covering it, going around Sun Devil Athletics, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But again, you can check me out at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. Again, hit me up, questions, thoughts, comments, something you'd like to see. If I haven't thought about it, if I haven't mentioned it, doesn't mean I haven't thought about it, but maybe I haven't. So hook me up. And again, getting ready for Pat's Run. I am doing that. Go to my X at Diablo00. And again, if you can donate, very cool, because it all goes to the Tillman Foundation, which I absolutely love, as you know. Again, Pat Tillman and Pat's Run, just very, very awesome. So that is coming up. If you can donate, anything you can donate, it does not matter. If you're doing it and you have your own fundraiser going, then hey, obviously don't worry about it. Love to see you out there. Hit me up. Let me know if you're going to be out there. But again, Pat's Run on my X, on my Twitter. Again, at Diablo00. It's a pinned tweet, so please feel free. Go, and if you can, any little bit helps to donate for the fundraiser. I set a goal. Got to give a shout out to my sister. She was the Lisa. You were the first, so I appreciate that. And shout out to obviously all donations. So that being said, but yeah, check it out. Share it. Feel free to share it. Obviously, retweet it, share it. But if you can get involved, again, it is for a phenomenal event, for an amazing and great human being, as Pat Tillman was, and his spirit still is going on. So I'm out of here. I will see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. Again, you all have fun, and let's see what, like I said, baseball. Again, they'll be up in the Palouse and Pullman taking on Washington State. Softball up in Eugene. So they're both headed up to the Pacific Northwest, taking on Oregon this weekend. Get to a little bit more of that tomorrow as well on the softball side. So have a great rest of your Thursday. I will see you tomorrow. And yes, Pitchfork Lunchers, you know it. As always, forks up.
three. Johnny Walker matching up against control. His shot. Bruce score. They score. They tie the game up 2-2. Some drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls on. And Arizona State wins it. Edwards pulls up. And buries the block. Daniels makes his shot.